Why conversations about systemic programming matter across all communities in America. In communities across the United States, more people are beginning to question how social division, media influence, economic pressure, and political polarization affect everyday life. The growing discussion is not just about government or corporations. It is about how Americans from every background may be conditioned to distrust one another rather than work together toward shared goals. The phrase, "why ignoring the system's programming divides us and ruins our lives," reflects a broader concern that many citizens feel. When people become consumed by fear, outrage, identity conflict, or economic survival, it becomes harder to build healthy families, strong neighborhoods, and unified communities. Critics and social commentators argue that division is often amplified through media cycles, online algorithms, political messaging, and cultural narratives that reward emotional reactions over thoughtful understanding. While perspectives differ politically and culturally, many agree that constant conflict can weaken society as a whole. The core concern: division over unity. Across the nation, Americans of all ethnicities, including African Americans, Latino Americans, Asian Americans, indigenous communities, Middle Eastern Americans, and white Americans, face many of the same challenges: rising living costs, economic instability, mental health struggles, educational inequality, distrust in institutions, social isolation, political hostility. Some analysts believe these pressures become worse when communities are encouraged to focus only on differences rather than shared human experiences. For example, workers from different racial or political backgrounds may compete against each other while facing the same financial hardships. Social media platforms often push emotionally charged content because outrage generates more engagement. Cultural stereotypes can create misunderstandings between groups that rarely interact directly. Historical pain and modern frustrations can be manipulated in ways that deepen resentment instead of promoting healing. A national issue, not a single group issue. Experts in sociology, psychology, education, and communications often point out that polarization affects everyone differently, but impacts everyone nonetheless. African American communities may experience concerns tied to economic inequality, over-policing, or historical injustice. Latino communities may face immigration debates, language barriers, or labor inequities. Asian American communities sometimes confront invisibility in national conversations while also facing stereotyping and discrimination. White working-class communities may experience economic displacement, declining industries, and feelings of social alienation. Meanwhile, younger generations across all backgrounds increasingly report anxiety, loneliness, distrust, information overload, difficulty identifying reliable truth. The result is a society where many people feel unheard, overworked, emotionally exhausted, and disconnected from one another. The role of media and technology. Modern technology has dramatically changed how Americans communicate and form opinions. News media, entertainment, influencers, and algorithms can shape public perception faster than ever before. Some researchers warn that fear-based headlines increase engagement. Online echo chambers reinforce existing beliefs. Viral outrage discourages nuanced discussion. Misinformation spreads rapidly during emotional events. When citizens consume information without critical thinking, they may unknowingly adopt narratives that increase hostility toward other groups rather than addressing larger systemic issues. Why critical thinking matters. Educators and civic leaders increasingly emphasize the importance of media literacy, historical awareness, independent thinking, cross-cultural dialogue, community engagement. The goal is not to reject institutions entirely or promote conspiracy thinking, but rather to encourage Americans to ask thoughtful questions, verify information, and avoid becoming trapped in cycles of fear or manipulation. Healthy democracies depend on informed citizens who can disagree respectfully while still recognizing one another's humanity. What unity could look like. Many advocates believe progress begins when people from different communities recognize common struggles and shared aspirations. That could include stronger local communities, better educational opportunities, economic cooperation, mental health awareness, honest discussions about history, reduced political hostility, support for families and youth. Rather than allowing division to dominate public life, many Americans are calling for a culture focused on collaboration, accountability, empathy, and critical thought. Final perspective. The message behind why ignoring the system's programming divides us and ruins our lives is ultimately a warning about disconnection. Whether one agrees fully with the phrase or not, the broader concern resonates with many people across political, racial, and cultural lines. A divided population often struggles to solve collective problems. As conversations about media influence, economic inequality, social tension, and political polarization continue to grow, many believe the future of the United States will depend on whether its people can move beyond manipulation, fear, and hostility, and rediscover cooperation, understanding, and shared purpose.